morning and salam sejahtera to Datuk Iskandar Mizal Mahmud, a director of Malaysia Airlines Holding Berhad. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to present our project proposal for Aerotrain repair works. On 1st March 2023, the Aerotrain KLA started to experience a breakdown. It basically affects the passengers' daily life. That's why our group would like to propose our project proposal to help to solve the problem of the Aerotrain. Our project have two objectives that we will achieve. The first one is to restore functionality and to minimize the downtime. There are so 4 phases of scope of project. The first one is to approach phase, design phase, pre-construction phase, construction phase, and post-construction phase. To ensure that the project is run smoothly, a breakdown structure was developed. As mentioned previously, that there are 5 types of phase, where each phase have their own tasks that need to be completed as shown at the slide. Meanwhile, there are 6 team projects that involved in this project, which is project management team, technical team, safety team, procurement team, facilities, and also stakeholders, where they have their own responsibilities in this project. The chart organization for our project is as shown at the slide. For project scheduling, our group using a critical path method to determine the critical path of our project. So basically, activity of Aerotrain KLA repair works that we will do is inspection and assessment, planning and scheduling, procurement of material, component repair or replacement, electrical system maintenance, testing and commission, and also document and report. So basically, in each of the member that contribute to this project have their own role. For project manager, project coordinator, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, technician, safety officer, procurement officer, quality control officer, and also support staff. So each of these role have their own responsibility that they need to be completed to make the project can be completed in the estimation time. So this slide show the table that consists of activity, description, immediate precede, and duration of times, where the list of activity is as mentioned previously. So based on the data at the table, we are able to know that the estimation time required is 32 months, which is 2 years 8 months. However, after completing the time using AO network, the time required is only 21 months, which is 1 year 9 months. Using the AO network, so we can determine the critical path using the slack time. As a result, the critical path of this project is A, C, D, E, F, G, and H, with expected to be completed within 20 months. The estimated cost for this project also is around RM10 million.
My name is MOHAMMAD IDLANMUKTI bin SABLIN. I will explain about the project controlling and quality management. For project controlling, 3 main aspects that we need to be focused, which is the first one is close monitoring the resource, the cost, the quality, and the budget. For the second one is the feedback that enable revising plan and shift resource. And the last one is the computerized tools that can produce the extensive report. For the monitoring of the resources is tracking and managing the resource required for the projects, such as the manpower, the material, the equipment, and others. For the cost, the project cost is involved in monitoring and tracking the expenses associated with the Aerotrain project that include the tracking, budget allocations, expenditure to ensure that the cost is remain within the approved budget. For the quality control, it is essential to ensure that the Aerotrain project meets the required standard and specifications, which is monitoring the quality of the work, the material, and the processes that was conducting the inspection of the corrective actions. And the last one is the budget, which is focusing of the financial performance against the allocated budget. That includes the expenditures, comparing them to the budget amount, and taking the corrective actions to address any deviations. The second one is feedback that enable the devising plan and shift resource. To effectively control of the project, the feedback is more essential. It enables the project manager to gather the information from various stakeholders, including the member team, contractor, and the end users or others. This feedback can identify the issues and can suggest the improvement and also can revise the project plan accordingly. And the last one is the computerized tools that can produce the extensive report based on the resource utilizations, the cost analysis, quality metrics, and others. Besides that, it can automate the data collections, analysis, and reporting processes. The quality management, which is we need to focus 5 main aspects. The first one is the quality planning, that defining the objective for the Aerotrain system, such as reliable and efficient transportations, and to identifying the technical standard and performance requirements. Next, the quality assurance, that focusing on the Aerotrain system designs, constructed and operated according to the defined quality standard. Next, about the quality control, that monitoring and verification of the Aerotrain system performance to ensure it meets the required or specified quality standard. The fourth is the quality improvement, that trigger the quality improvement effort involving the root causes analysis to identifying the reason for any technical problem and implementing the corrective actions. And the last one is the stakeholder engagement, such as the passenger, the airport authorities, technical expert. That is essential for addressing the Aerotrain system.
Greetings to Malaysia Airport Holding Berhad MAHB team. I'm Santhia Kesavan and I'm one of the members for the Aerotrain Service Project. And today it is my honor to propose to you about the process strategy as well as the layout decision in order to overcome the train disruption system. So as we speak of this process strategy, it brings us down to a focus to create a product or even deliver a service which would potentially meet or even satisfy a customer's expectation. And at the same time, it could meet the financial and also the managerial objective of an organization. We should also note that this process strategy could have a very immense impact in terms of production, quality, cost, and even flexibility of an organization. And in our case, it brings us down to one point, which is to improvise the Aerotrain system, which has been suspended for quite some time as it often breaks down. So here, we will be discussing on the prospectable process strategy, which could potentially bring back our Aerotrain system back to life. Usually, there are 4 different types of process strategy, namely process focus, product focus, repetitive focus, and mass customization. However, in our case of fixing the Aerotrain service system, we'll be focusing more on the process focus strategy. You may ask why process focus, and this brings us down to 3 main reasons. Number 1, it emphasizes efficient and effective execution of specific processes to achieve operational goal. This is especially useful when technical issues that require specialized expertise or even attention to details. Number 2, it can focus on identifying and resolving specific technical problems which affect the Aerotrain service, and this can be done by diagnosing the root causes or even implementing the targeted solutions. Number 3, it allows continuous improvement and ongoing monitoring of the Aerotrain service, which ensures long-term sustainability by establishing a robust maintenance system. At the same time, it's important to take note, while the process-focused strategy is appropriate for rectifying the technical problems, it may also involve other elements such as product focus, which ensures the quality of Aerotrain service, or even mass customization with tailored solution to address specific issues. However, the core emphasis on process optimization and problem resolution aligns with process-focused strategy. There are a couple of factors that need to be considered when it comes to selection of equipment. Firstly, cost factor. A thorough study on the long-term expenses need to be conducted, and it should be guaranteed that the chosen equipment is compatible with the organization budget and meets with the long-term financial goals. Factor number 2 is cash flow. Is it really worth it to buy the equipment? Therefore, depreciation of assets, return on investment, potential revenue generation need to be studied to ensure the sustainability of the Aerotrain organization. Factor number 3 is market stability. It also plays a huge role in deciding the purchase of an equipment. This helps to prevent the organization to avoid overinvesting or underinvesting in equipment depending on its demand. Next, when it comes to the quality of the item to be purchased, the standards must not be compromised. That is to say, in terms of reliability, durability, and also performance. Fifth factor would be capacity. The equipment purchased must meet the current and future demand levels. In this case, by purchasing appropriate size of the train coach, Aerotrain can avoid bottlenecks in its service. Last factor would be flexibility, and this relates to the question, can it sustain with technological development? As such, adaptability plays a huge role in selecting an equipment. In this slide, we'll take a look at the equipment which can be utilized to overcome the disrupted train system. The The main ones are the diagnostic equipment, which uses the computerized diagnostic system, followed by repair and maintenance tool, which needs various types of tools to fix the aerotrain, and thirdly, lifting and moving equipment such as cranes and jack to move the coach around to be repaired. Besides that, electrical equipment such as multimeter are also needed for testing electrical components. Track maintenance equipment to inspect the track, safety equipment such as PPE for workers and first aid kit are also necessary during the repair works. Additionally, spare parts for replacement are also some of the equipments needed for the aerotrain repair work. Next, communication equipment such as walkie-talkies also needed to ease the work process among workers. Besides, mobile maintenance units such as equipped vehicles are also very useful for the on-site repair purposes. And lastly, testing and calibration equipment would also be utilized in this process to verify electrical and mechanical parameters. Next, we'll take a look at the technology to be employed in fixing the aerotrain. But for that, it is best to draw inspiration from the world's leading train networks, Japan's Shinkansen, also widely known as the bullet train. Here are some of the technology that can be adopted from the Japan Shinkansen train. Firstly, the track and infrastructure maintenance. In Japan, it's common to come across a yellow doctor train, which is mainly used to inspect the track. Therefore, such technology can be implemented regularly to conduct maintenance. Next, advanced signaling control and communication system. It can be employed to get real-time information on train, which can facilitate prompt response for any disruption. Next, train control and traffic management systems can be used to regulate the operational efficiency and minimize the delays. Passenger usage data system will also enable Aerotrain company to know the peak hours and prepare more rides. For example, during Raya holiday, more users will be heading back to their hometown. So, more rides can be prepared and backup plans can be activated. High-speed and efficient management system is another famous aspect of Japanese train. Therefore, exemplifying them, backup coaches can be prepared for the worst case to avoid disruption of service. Next, we'll take a look at the layout decision to fix the aerotrain service. In our case, we'll be applying the process-oriented layout, which is designed to optimize the sequence of operation in a production process. As you can see on the slide, this is the process-oriented layout for the aerotrain service, which was sketched after a thorough research and understanding of the work process. Now, I'll further explain how the workflow process will take place. Firstly, the trains are diagnosed for their issues, and then the faulty trains will be sent to their repair departments. The spare parts are used from the storage department to repair the problem. In case where the spare parts are out of stock, they can be obtained via receiving department. This receiving department segment also has delivery department to send off the trains to external site to be fixed. Once the train or coach is fixed, it is sent to the QC department to be further analyzed. If it is all good, then the documents for the problem are well written and kept for documentation purpose in the documenting and reporting department. As a highlight, the coordination and communication hub is placed at the center, which enables the workers to travel quickly to every department. This also benefits in terms of meetings and discussion. So in total, each of these related departments are kept next to each other to minimize the movement of the workers, and at the same time, it increases the efficiency of the process workers. This rotational motion of the workflow ensures that space is utilized wisely and promotes a smooth informational flow. While this process layout decision was made, there were some considerations taken into account. For instance, higher utilizations of space, equipment, and people, improved flow of information, flexibility, capacity, and cost of moving between various work areas. Based on all of these criteria, the process-oriented layout was planned, and it is believed that it can solve the aerotrain service issues.
The goal of human resources is to make sure that proper people are recruited, trained, and placed in the right position so that we can achieve the organization goal successfully and efficiently. And there are several strategies in managing the human resources, which is the first one is job design, whereas the project team member should be aware of the duties and they know how the effort will contribute in reaching the organization goals. Second is recruitment and selection, whereas it is to guarantee that team members have necessary expertise, credential, and knowledge to successfully complete the operation. The third one is training and development, whereas the training and development program should cover technical skills such as civil engineering, project management, as well as soft skills such as communication and leadership. The fourth one is performance management, whereas each employee's talent and competencies are cataloged using skill inventory system, which give a planner through a picture of the organization staff. The fifth is motivation and retention. The project team should be provided with a supportive work, such as giving incentive recognition program, so that it will motivate themselves to do the work better. Next is human resource constraint. It will negatively impact the KLIA repair project if didn't mitigate early, so it is necessary to establish a counter strategy for the project. The first one is product strategy. The project team member should have mixed technical abilities, including knowledge of the railway system, civil engineering, as well as project management abilities. Second is schedules. The project team schedules may be restricted due to the time of the day or the season. So the schedule stability should be taken into account so the project team able to organize their work and prevent disruption. Third is location strategy. This is also important due to factors such as climate, temperature, noise, light, air quality. Thus, the project team should be provided with a good and healthy working environment so they can carry out their work effectively. Fourth is process strategy. So, by providing the necessary technology and equipment, the project team can achieve and complete their work efficiently. Next is planning process. The first one, project initiation, is step where the goal, the scope, and the stakeholders are all defined. In the project planning, it is the stage where the plan will create, specifies the timetable, budget, resource, and deliverable. In the project execution is the step where the necessary repairs and restarting the train operation in accordance to the schedule. In the project monitoring and control is step where the project keep on track within the budget and revising the project plan if needed. And lastly, project closure is step involves formally ending the project transitioning or any ongoing responsibilities to the appropriate parties.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is YUNIE DESSYQAH and I am responsible to present about the supply chain management part of this project. So the purpose of supply chain management is to coordinate operation throughout the supply chain in order to maximize the supply chain's competitive advantage and advantages to the end user. Supply chain strategy is vital, important, since all the supply operation must be coordinated beginning with the raw material and end up with a delighted consumer. As you can see on the slide, there are three different types of supply chain strategy, which consists of low-cost strategy, response strategy, and differentiation strategy. So for the Aerotrain project, the most suitable strategy to be implemented is response strategy. So we will focus more on response strategy. As we can see there, the primary supplier selection criteria would be speed and flexible, which is very suitable with our condition, where the project need to be done within 29 weeks according to the planning and scheduling. And then we can see on the supply chain inventory, they use buffer stocks, which is also to ensure speedy supply. And the distribution network also fast and provide premium customer service. Last but not least, the product design characteristic only required low setup time and rapid production ramp. We are moving on to the sourcing strategy, which we have a total of 6 different types of sourcing strategy, begin with many suppliers, few suppliers, joint ventures, character networks, virtual companies, and last but not least, vertical integration. But for this project, we are only focusing on 2 types of sourcing strategies, which is many suppliers. So many supplier strategy may be used to address the existing Aerotrain problem, since they allow for the selection of a provider with high quality and economical price in short term, since we only have 29 weeks to complete all the tasks. The longer period took to repair the failure of the Aerotrain will cause inconvenience to customers and major loss to our organization. The next one is few suppliers. We also need few suppliers sourcing strategy because it might be implemented for a maintenance process. This is because maintenance process generally took longer time to complete, so it is more suitable to use few suppliers sourcing strategy. To the supply chain risk and action plan. So in supply chain management, we might encounter some problem, but we must be prepared with some action plan. So here I will highlight 4 possibility of risk that might occur due to this project. The first one is supplier failure to deliver supplies. So in order to avoid this problem, multiple suppliers should be contacted and should be used to ensure a backup initiative. Moreover, effective contracts and penalties should be implemented to avoid any loss in the process. The second one is supplier quality failure. Careful supplier selection is important to overcome these circumstances. Suppliers must have proper training, certification, and receive continuous monitoring. The third one is logistic delay or damage. So multiple transportation modes and warehouse should be utilized in the process of completing this project. And additionally, packaging must be secured and effective contracts with penalties must be implemented to avoid any major loss to our organization. Last but not least, natural catastrophe. Our organization should prepare insurance and alternate sourcing to reduce loss or obtain compensation for work done for the project if natural catastrophe occurs after our project done. I will moving on to the shipping method. There are a total of 6 different types of shipping method, which is trucking, railroads, air freight, waterways, pipelines, and multimodal. But in this project, I will only choose 2 preferable shipping method, which is the first one is multimodal shipping method that can be used to complete this project. Waterways can be used to transport parts that are less priority, while air freight shipping method can be utilized for an urgent part that required immediate action. Therefore, some costs can be saved and the project will still be under budget without having to make some delays. I will moving on to maintenance and reliability section. The term maintenance describes an approach for safety, repairing, and ensuring a proper operation of machinery, system, or infrastructure. It includes procedures or methodology including inspection, cleaning, lubrication, adjustment, and replacement to stop or fix problem that might result in downtime, poor performance, or safety risk in the future. So there are 4 different types of maintenance strategy, which is preventive maintenance, corrective maintenance, condition-based maintenance, and predictive maintenance. I will begin with preventive maintenance. So preventive maintenance was developed to improve the flows of corrective maintenance by minimizing the likelihood of failure and preventing unexpected failure. This method is known as time-based maintenance, and maintenance is scheduled or cyclic. So if we apply this kind of maintenance strategy to our project, that means we have to make a daily inspection or monthly inspection to our Aerotrain condition or the rail track condition in order to prevent any failure in the future. The second types of maintenance strategy is corrective maintenance, where corrective maintenance is the most basic type of maintenance approach, where we use an element of the object until it fails, until it cannot work or function really well anymore. So I am not preferring to use this type of maintenance strategy in this project because in the future it will require more cost than it should be. Next is the condition-based maintenance, which is the primary reason for performing maintenance is a change in an item's condition or performance. As a result, the best time to do maintenance is identified by a condition survey, which is used to identify the real condition of each component item in an object. So for example, in our Aerotrain project, the condition of rail track, the engine of Aerotrain is required to be monitored continuously to ensure the functionality works at its best from time to time. Last but not least, a predictive maintenance strategy, which is one of many maintenance strategies that are recently used in many organizations. So predictive maintenance is a methodology or idea that simply put optimizes whole plant performance by utilizing the actual operation condition of plant equipment and system. So basically, we predict what failure that would happen by using some basic tools like vibration monitoring, thermography, or tribology. So next, I will explain detail about system reliability. System reliability refers to a system's or an organization's capacity to continuously satisfy its intended functions without failure or disturbance. It involves the dependability of numerous components, processes, and interactions with the systems, with the goal of minimizing failures, but still optimizing overall performance. So system reliability can be determined or calculated by using the equation below as shown. So system reliability equal to R1, R2, R3, and so on. So R refers to reliability of component. So if it's R1, it's reliability for component 1. R2, reliability of component 2, and so on. Next, we are moving on to the integration with technology or tools, or simply say computerized software that will help engineers to manage their maintenance process neatly and smooth. So computerized maintenance system usually require a data files, which consists of equipment file with parts list, maintenance and work order schedule, repair history file, inventory of spare parts, as well as personal data with skills and wages rates. All the data file will be entered to data entry for a work request, purchase request, time reporting, and contract work, which will produce and output reports consist of inventory and purchasing reports, equipment part list, equipment history reports, cost analysis, for actual and standard cost analysis and work orders. There are a lot of software that can be used for computerized maintenance management system, but in this project, I was proposing the use of Microsoft Basic Value 2010 because it was recently developed where they update the system for a complaint interface. There were an interface for a complaint detail where the workers can simply log into the system and make some complaint detail about any failure that happened in the working site. And there would also a complaint list interface that engineers can easily refer so that we can arrange maintenance work more neatly at immediate action. Next, I will review about the maintenance impact. The first one would be the maintenance cost. So what is maintenance cost? Maintenance cost is the expenses spent by a company to maintain its infrastructure, equipment, assets, and so on. So these costs might change based on the kind and complexity of the assets, the frequency and intensity of maintenance operations, and the organization's maintenance policy. The second one would be the total productive maintenance, which is an innovative approach to maintenance that maximizes equipment effectiveness, reduces failures, and promotes operator autonomy through day-to-day activity. So the total productive maintenance is usually used to ensure operators maintain their own machine and partner with maintenance personnel. I will explain about appropriate reliability. So appropriate reliability can be characterized by three types of component, which is the first one, MBTF, mean time between failure, failure rate, FR, and redundancy. These three things can be determined by using a formula. For MBTF, we can calculate by 1 divided by failure rates. And failure rates can be determined in two ways. The first one, percentage, which is number of failure divided by number of unit tested. And the second one is depending on number of unit hours of operating time. While for redundancy, we can obtain by formula shown in the slide, which is the probability of first component working plus with probability of second component working multiplied by probability of needing second component.